should current title holders be judges for their systems? Hello friends and welcome back. My name is Maria Gerlando, also known as the Pageant Gal, and today the topic that we are discussing is if pageant title holders should be judges in their system, particularly when they are giving away their crown. Should they be allowed to judge that year? Should they be allowed to be part of the selection committee, if you will? Now, this is something that I've learned that I'm very passionate about, and it's something that I didn't understand at first, but I've seen the positives and negatives of both sides, and I've formulated my own opinion to impart wisdom for you. Now, this isn't really something for you to stress or worry about if the former title holders are judges or not, but I do think that there is just some things to be aware of, even when it just comes to asking current title holders for their advice and guidance when it comes to preparing for the system and title that you are ultimately competing for. Let us rewind and get into it. Now, no lesson would really be complete without a story time. So of course I'm going to give you a couple of story times to base this off of. But overall, my personal opinion and what I've seen, my answer is no. I do not think that the current reigning title holders should be part of the judging or the selection process of the pageant when they are giving away their titles. Ultimately, across the board, I'm sure there are some unique situations that would be exempt from this, but that is my personal opinion from what I've experienced. Let me go into reasons why. So, starting off, numero uno. Because the title holder should really just be focused on enjoying the experience, getting to know all of the girls without thinking of who stands out in their mind to be the next title holder, right? It's like this is still their year, it's still their reign, and I think that giving away their title should be a process that they get to enjoy rather than having the pressures and thoughts and conditions that a judge would have. I just don't think it's something that they need to do, and it's so much easier for them to enjoy that experience, and then they can come back as a judge the next year. Reason number two, and this is the real true reason, is because what I've seen many a time are that, and this is very common, and this is no shame on title holders, I went through this when I was a title holder. It's so difficult to see anybody else living up to your own expectation because in your mind, you just did it. Like you just ran the marathon, you did the thing. Maybe you've been traveling, you've been doing photo shoots, you've been doing events, you've been doing sponsors, you competed nationally or internationally. You've been doing it all. And how do you pick somebody to take your place realistically? Like that's truly how it can seem sometimes. And I've seen this happen many times. So I'm not just saying that it's, just like the diva queens, because I remember feeling that way too. I remember looking and being like, oh, I don't know any of these girls, like they don't really fit what I think a title holder should be. And it wasn't until I had a mentor and queen talk to me about this, and she was like, well, of course not. Like you're the current title holder. Like no one's gonna live up to your expectations. No one's gonna be doing the things that you're doing. So that made so much sense. That made so much sense to me. And I was like, wow, it's true. Like I shouldn't be worried about who's gonna win or who I think is gonna live up to my expectation or live in my footsteps, because it's not about me, right? My point is to, or my purpose or the title holder's purpose is to enjoy their reign, accomplish their goals, focus on what it is that they want to accomplish, and allow the next girl to fill in the footsteps or in the role as that girl sees best, right? It's not about filling or carrying on the legacy. We all carry a different legacy and a different purpose, and it's going to shine through in different ways. So I've seen this several times where I've talked to title holders now, and they'll be like, oh, well, I don't really see anyone stand out, or oh, I don't really like this or like that. And then of course, especially in the Canadian community, we all kind of know each other. So it's easy if you have like a conflict with somebody, it's a conflict of interest, right? It's just a conflict of interest. And so I think you have so much time after you're done being a title holder to be a judge. The year that you give away your crown, you should not be a judge. With that being said, I understand that some pageants want you to be the judge. That I can't really argue against. You can't really change that. But if you are a title holder watching this, just be very aware of that. Be very, very aware that these girls, like you were in their position at one point, you weren't doing all the things that you were doing, and be very compassionate and understanding. And also realize that when the girl who does win the title wins, whoever that is, they will live up to it in their own special way. So it's not something to stress about or look down on anybody about. Just be very aware of that, and hopefully any contestant watching this will just as well hope that the title holders will realize that. Now I'm going to talk about story time. We know I love story time about this and why it is it's so important that the title holders should just go and have fun and not have the stress of judging on them. So I was at an international competition, whatever, y'all know what competitions I competed in, you can figure it out. But in one of the competitions, we were in groups of like 8, I think it was, and we had to come up with a topic or a presentation based on a topic that we were given, and then we were going to present that presentation in front of the judges. It was kind of more so just like for the bonding fun experience, but it did kind of have some truth behind it as to why we were doing the research for it. I digress. My group was all over the place. Like, I was the leader of the group, and everyone in my group spoke a different language, so it made it much harder to communicate everything. We had some individuals that just we were on course, they took us off course. Oh, don't get me started, sisters. Okay, so that's beside the point. My group was not as well meshed together as the other groups clearly were, and I get very bossy anxious when I'm in that position. So I was just trying to relax it out and tell everybody, listen, this is just for part of the competition. It doesn't need, let's just pick something and go with it. Let's own whatever it is. It doesn't really matter, because it wasn't like what we were gonna do was gonna come true anyway. So it's let's just get an idea down, solve it. You're probably like, Maria, how does this have to do with title holders? Listen to me. So there's already just a little bit of stress and disconnection amongst my group. It wasn't obvious, but it was there. It was totally there. So then the day that my group was supposed to present, the day before my group was supposed to present, we were starting to get things rolling. And then we were told that day, we're about to arrive back to the hotel. You have 45 minutes to get ready and go, and Maria's group is doing the presentation first. So we definitely, we got cut a day of preparation, and we had 45 minutes. And my group's freaking out. And I said, I put on my bossy pants, because I know that's what I do, and that's okay. And I said, you are speaking at this time, you're saying this. You're speaking at this time, you're saying this. You're speaking at this time, you're saying this. Did that, it was there was no conversation. We had 45 minutes. Let's just put it together and get it done. Everyone was on board. They were like, okay, we got this. Let's do this. Whatever. We're going to get it done, and it's going to be fine. So all the girls were in my room, me and my roommate's room. And one of the former title holders comes into our room. I don't know why she was there, but she was there. And she had some issues that week. That's all I'm gonna say. She had just some issues with some of the other former title holders that were there. She was not a vibe. She was not a vibe. I didn't talk to her the whole week, and honestly, I wasn't quite interested. And when she came into my room, I am so good at sensing when bad things come and when something bad's about to happen. And it was just this negative black energy coming in. And I was like, why are you in my room? Anyways, so she sits down. She's judging our presentation in 45 minutes. She comes to our room. She sits down. I don't know why she's in my room. Don't know why you're on my bed. But anyways. And she says, oh, so what are you guys doing your presentation on? And I'm like, we're doing our presentation in 45 minutes. We're going to prepare, and it'll be, I think I just said something general, education, and, you'll see it then. You'll see it in 45 minutes. Because I'm a nice person. I'm fine. I'm a little more salty now looking back, but I was nice then, right? I was just we're trying to get it together. We'll see you downstairs. And this girl starts going off on all of my teammates saying, what did you do? You did this all wrong. The director's gonna be so upset. This isn't what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do this, this, and this. And I don't mean to be rude, but this gal, she's a young gal. She was a young gal. And all of for some reason, so first of all, let's recap that. You're a judge, you come into my room, you're asking my group what they're doing for the presentation that you're supposed to be judging. Then when I give you some ounce of okay, this is what it is, go, because you can't be here. You shouldn't be here. This is a conflict of interest. You start telling me we did this all wrong and this and that because you think it should be this way. My roommates, yeah, because my roommates were in my group, and my teammates all leave, start bawling their eyes out, literally bawling their eyes out. And I was like, girls, no, like, it's okay. Like, we're going to do this. Like, don't listen to her. I was like, don't listen to her. So she causes this huge ruckus. Teammates are crying. We are late going into our presentation because, of course, girls are like putting their mascara back on. And then what I wanted to do is I went up to one of the other judges who was helping out that week, and I was like, do you mind if I just say something to you? Like, can we just talk about something? And they said to me, nope, she already told us everything. And I was like, what does that mean? I was like, what does that mean? That she came into our room, told all of my roommates that we did everything wrong and made everyone start crying, and meanwhile she's a judge and she's been causing problems all week? Okay. And now, again, my teammate's late. Literally, you could see the tears in their eyes, and we're supposed to give this presentation about education. Yeah, that's totally not okay. Huge conflict of interest. Not impressed that those individuals totally shut me out and totally tried to put me down. And I don't care. Like, there's a certain point where I'm like, I don't care that I'm in a pageant. I don't care that you're a judge. If you are being disrespectful to me and my teammates, I'm gonna speak up and say something. So I said so. Like, I was like, you think I'm just gonna let you sit here and like act like you know everything? No, not okay. So, long story short, she probably didn't like me after that. That's fine. It's what it is. She already probably didn't like me, and there was just so much more drama in that you don't even want to know. But the whole idea is that the title holder, focus on having fun. Focus on going there having fun. Don't focus on judging the girls. That's not your job at that time. Once you're more removed out of the experience personally, then you can go back and judge. But until then, focus on yourself. If you do not have the emotional capability of separating like your emotions and stresses and like the things that you think are wrong or right, if you can't separate that from the judging process, you should not be a judge. You should tell your director that it is not right for you to be a judge. Like, you just don't have like that capability at that moment. It's so much more important to have integrity, enjoy the time, than it is to just be the judge because that's what people do. That's all I really have to say about that. If you're judging other pageants, sure, go for it. Judge other pageants, but it's just a different situation when it's your pageant. Sometimes we get a little bit entitled. Sometimes we're a little bit of a know-it-all or a little bit of a diva. We get a little bit full of ourselves. I did it too, I know. But that is my overall consensus when it comes to that. And I hope that does make sense. I've had some gals reach out to me and say that they really love the story times because they just give a lot of context to the things that I'm sharing. So I'm excited to provide more. I'm excited to do more and to really give you the reality of the situation, because I always like to have a lesson, give you some context, understand what it's like in like real life versus pageant life, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Always need to just like digress after a heated story time, but without anything else being said, that is my reasoning. That is my story as to why. If I did not scare you off again, and if you're still watching and listening, please connect with me on social media. We can talk things pageant, confidence building, we can work together, or you can just get some inspiration and pageant love and advice. Click on the links down below. I'd love to connect with you further. Thanks so much for watching this one. More is coming your way, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.